Welcome back to another video. As most of you know, I was recently at Holy Smoke Fest 2025 in Nashville, Tennessee, the biggest Christian hip hop festival in the world. I am a huge Christian hip hop fan, so for me, going was a no brainer, and it was just an awesome experience. And part of that experience was me buying a bunch of merchandise for a bunch of different artists at the festival. And today I wanted to show you guys the merchandise that I purchased at the festival. Now, just as an FYI, if you see me swatting at the air throughout this video, there are flies in this room and I have not been able to catch them. So if you just see me swatting, I'm swatting at the flies and I promise I am not going crazy. But anyway, let me start off with the merchandise that I purchased on the night of the VIP party. So, I ended up getting some CDs and some shirts on the VIP night. Now, my first order of business was I wanted to get a piece of John Keith merchandise since he has been my favorite artist for the last 2 years. So, I had seen the post he made on Instagram a couple of days before the festival started, showing the merch that he was going to have at the festival. And he said it was going to go on his website um, after the festival, but Holy Smoke got first dibs at the merch. So, what I ended up getting was this shirt right here. This is the front of it. Um, it's a butterfly, obviously, because he's very big into butterflies, and it says JK right here, his initials. And then I thought the back was pretty cool. It says, "It's time to grow wings," which is obviously the slogan of his new album, Grow Wings. Um, this was $40, um, and I just thought that this was my favorite piece of merch that he had that I wanted to get. I really wish he had some CDs though, because I do like to collect some CDs, which I'll show some of the ones I got later. But he didn't have any CDs. The next thing I got was this festival lineup shirt that has the lineup on it. This is the front. Um, this was the 5th year anniversary logo. It says there's a 5 and then the Holy Smoke. Um, on the LED screen that they had behind the stage, they would have this logo, but instead of the S, it would be this 5 there, since it was the 5th year anniversary. And then if you turn it around, it has the lineup on the back, what they posted on social media with all the names of the artists that were going to be at the festival. So those were the two shirts that I got on the first night. And then I got some CDs. Now, there were 3 Indie Tribe CDs for sale, but I only ended up getting 2. I didn't get Upper Hand because I haven't really listened to that album. Yes, I know I'm outing myself right now, but I wasn't super familiar with it, so I didn't get it. But I did end up getting Low Blow and Indy 500. In retrospect, I kind of wish I did get Upper Hand, because there was a deal going on with the CDs. Like, if you got a certain amount, it was this amount, and then it would have been less if you just got each of them individually. But I just ended up getting these two, and I thought it was pretty interesting that they put the CDs in DVD cases. I was a little bit confused at first when I saw it because I had never seen anything like this before, where there were CDs in DVD cases. And these are the backs with the track list on it. I had to ask the people at the merch table about it, and they were like, "Yes, these are CDs. They're just in DVD cases." So I mean, that it's definitely interesting. It's something I had never seen before, so I thought that was interesting. So those are the Indie Tribe CDs that I got, and then I walked over to No Big Deal's table, and I ended up getting two of the CDs he was selling. I got Soul Brother, which was the project that he made in 1 week with Kato on the Track that he released earlier this year in 2025. I don't know if it's officially been released on his website yet. I know it was on pre-order, but I don't know if it's been like officially released. But they had copies of this there at the festival, and I did like this project, so I picked up myself a copy of Soul Brother, and then I picked up a copy of The People We Became, which was his album from last year. This one I did really like. And these were the two albums that I went in knowing that I wanted a CD of if they had it, which I was sure they would. And they did not have the lowercase tape on CD, which I was a little bit bummed about because if they did end up having it, I would have gotten it. They had it on vinyl, and I do have some vinyls, but I'm more into collecting CDs than vinyls. But yeah, like I said, they just had it on vinyl and they did not have it on CD. So I was kind of bummed about that. But regardless, these were the two no big deal CDs that I got. And then I happened across this one. I was walking by DJ Mike Helvey's table, and then I was just briefly looking at the merch, and then I saw that um, he was selling Bodega 2 on CD. I knew he was going to put it on CD. I just never saw it listed. And then I saw that, and then I just ended up grabbing myself a copy. Um, so that was all I ended up getting on the first night. Actually, I lied. Um, as I was walking out of the venue after the VIP party, they gave all the VIPs who were there some free stuff. And what we ended up getting was this poster right here that they were selling. Obviously, it's the lineup for the festival. So it's like a poster you can just hang up in your room or something that they just gave you for free. I didn't realize it was a poster until after I got back to my Airbnb that night because it was just rolled up, and I thought I just didn't really realize what it was at first. And then the other thing that they gave the VIPs for free was this little tote bag that has the festival logo on it, which I thought that was pretty cool. That will come in handy for me. I will definitely be using this. So that was all that I ended up getting on the first night. And then I ended up doing some shopping on the last night of the festival because I wanted to wait and see. Because the merch tables were switching out each day depending on which artist was there. So, like, if the artist was there, then their merch team was there. So I wanted to, because there were more artists I liked on the second day. So I waited until the second day just to see like what else they had to get. So I did end up getting some stuff on the second day. One of the shirts I got was this shirt from Geo's merch table. I haven't taken it out of the package yet, but this is what it looks like outside of the package. But it's a Grand Prix shirt, as you saw in the picture, and it has an IndyCar on it. It's like a double purpose for me because if you have been watching my channel, you know that I am a motorsports fan, and I have also recently been getting into Geo's music. And when I was listening through music of the people who would be there at the festival, I was pleasantly surprised by Geo, and I ended up really liking his stuff. So it's a shirt to support him, and it's also like an IndyCar motorsports shirt too, so that works out for me. And I also really lucked out because I had walked by his table earlier. I didn't really realize it was his table, but then I walked by again because I was hoping they had this shirt because I saw it on his website before. And I walked by his table. I saw that they had it, and they had like all the sizes sorted out. And this was the absolute last size large shirt that they had of this shirt specifically. All the other sizes they had were extra large and up. So obviously none of those would have fit me. So I really lucked out and got the last large shirt of this. So I was really happy about that because I wanted this shirt. Um, then another shirt I ended up getting was this shirt from the Indie Tribe merch table. It's just the generic Indie Tribe T-shirt that they sell on their website, just with their logo on it. I thought it was nice. It was one of the less expensive shirts, so I just ended up grabbing it for myself. And then the last shirt I ended up getting was this one from No Big Deals merch table. Um, on the Most of you might know what this is. On the front it says MDLD, and then on the back it has what that stands for. My Demon's Looking Depressed. I didn't have any No Big Deal merchandise before that weekend of the festival, so I figured why not grab myself a No Big Deal shirt. So now I can rock merchandise for a bunch of the artists that were there, and artists that I like to listen to. So that was all the merch that I did end up purchasing, but I did get some more stuff for free. I just happened to. After the festival was over on the last night, I was hanging out in the parking lot, just waiting to see if I could talk to some of the artists. There were a bunch of other people there, and like while people were still there in the parking lot, there were people handing out the posters again. They just had They just had some extras, so they were just trying to hand them out for free. And they're like, "Hey, do you want a poster?" And I was like, "Sure, why not? I'll take another poster." This one's in a little bit better condition than the one I got on the VIP night. So I have two of these posters now, and this one I got again completely for free because they were just handing them out at the end. And this last piece of merchandise that I'm going to show you, there's a really cool story behind it. So, as I was saying, on the last night of the festival, after the festival was over, I was just hanging out in the parking lot, waiting to see if I could talk to any of the artists as they came out. And eventually, DJ Mike LV came out, and he was talking to some people, and eventually, like some people that were with him, they brought out this like cart of a bunch of boxes that belonged to him. It was like merch and like I think his equipment that he was using on stage, but they brought that out and they were gonna put it in his car that was right there. And I had asked if they wanted any help. And then eventually myself and some other people that were still there, we just started helping load all those boxes into his car, just to be kind, and it was the right thing to do. So we just started helping him load all this stuff into his car, and then once all of that stuff was loaded into his car, DJ Mike LV came over and said thank you to everyone who helped us, or helped them, I should say. And he handed out to everyone a free copy of Bodega 2 on CD that he was selling there. So I ended up getting another copy of Bodega 2 from DJ Mike LV himself after I helped him load some stuff into his car. And I was fortunate enough to be able to get this one signed by him. He was right there, and there was one guy there who had a bunch of pictures of himself with some other artists, and that he wanted to get those pictures signed. So I just asked if I could borrow his marker, and then I got DJ Mike LV to sign this copy of Bodega 2 for me. I don't know if you can see it, but he signed it right there in the corner. It's a little bit faded, but he did sign it, and that was just super super cool of him. DJ Mike LV was just the nicest guy to talk to. Like super down to earth. He didn't act like he was better than anyone. He's just a super super nice guy, and that was um, a really really nice thing of him to do. And I couldn't ask for more. It was a really really cool experience. So all in all, that was all of the merch that I ended up getting at Holy Smoke Fest for 2025. I will definitely be rocking those shirts in day to day life and wearing them throughout the year. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you watched all the way to the end, thank you so, so much. And I will see you guys next time.